Hello and welcome in on Sunday evening for another collective week ahead card pull for, it's still January all week. So longest month ever, or you can't believe it's flown by. Up to you to perceive. But I am coming to you from a very snowy and blustery part of the world right now, as many of us in the U.S. have been hunkered down today for a huge winter storm that has made its way across, is making its way still as I come on here of the U.S. And so we probably got somewhere around 8 to 10 inches of snow that's being kind of locked in under a sheet of a dome of ice, sleet, and frozen rain coming down now. So I thought I would cut out we've had a wonderful family day here. It's actually my littlest one, Elena Joy. It is her 10th, double digits, 10th birthday today, my little Aquarian. So today has been all about her and her favorite things and, having some fun in between shoveling and having hot cocoa. So, thought I would come in here now for our card pulls to see about this last final week of January and what we might expect coming up from the cards. We're going to tune in, of course, to the beautiful and seasonally appropriate around these parts, winter season tarot. And then we're going to pull a little oracle message to cap it all off from the Dreamweaver's Oracle. And also talk a little bit about some astrological weather. We have several aspects happening this week. Just pretty much know this year, there's several aspects happening all the time. And January, I've just been highlighting a very few of them. But we'll see what comes in here to connect with the messages that are going to come through the cards, and also some numerology for a couple of these final days of January. So coming up next, but let's get started here. I've just sprayed a little sapphire divine peace and reconciliation. I wanted to bring in that frequency of the sapphire peace energy here. Again, setting the intention for what I wish to see in the world. So I bring that into this space where we have the ability to work on how that is situated within us in working on being peace and being unconditional love and being understanding and holding that space in the world. So we continue in that endeavor here. And I thank you for what you are doing as your part in the world, as within, so without, right? So really focusing on where our power lies, which is within each of our own sovereign being. So as we set that intention, let's tune in here to the winter season tarot for a final week look at January with this deck, with this altar space and all of the beautiful energies that have come through. It has been a bit of a long, strange month for me. I'm not going to lie. This is always a very busy time, just with the coming down from the holidays and back to school. But of course, with all of the year ahead readings and moving through this month and all of the different aspects that are going on, I've really been trying to practice balance and, really making sure that when I'm tuning in, the energies are where they need to be. And so I appreciate all of you too. I feel like I haven't gotten to touch base and connect with as many of you as I typically do, just because very head down over here moving through all the things. While also life. So it's been a bit wild here, and I wonder how you're doing and how you're moving through this first month. We know that this first half of the first quarter of 2026 was going to be about the final casting and shedding of the skins of the wood snake, releasing, letting go in order to prepare to welcome in with the Lunar New Year, with the new moon coming up. And this is going to be in February that I speak of, the new moon eclipse. All the things happening mid-February. So up until then, we're really experiencing a lot of the squeeze of really wrapping it up and releasing and preparing for the fire horse to come in here with the Lunar New Year. So as we're doing that, let's see what's coming in here for Monday to set the tone for this week. For any and all who are watching this and wherever you're catching it, whether it's on the Empowerment Sharecast, my free space, tucked away from the noise of social media, where we do this each week, where I offer complimentary personal card pulls, where we do special pick-a-cards and other fun spiritual musings. Or you're seeing this in one of my social media spaces. This message that comes through here today is for you. And you're always invited to take what resonates and leave the rest, because that's how it works with a collective reading, where we each bring our own energy to the table. So thank you again for being here in whatever capacity that you come through. Let's see what's coming in for Monday. Monday energy, setting the tone for this last week. 8 of Coins. Okay, so we've got work, focus. I know there's going to be some focus over here about digging out again because we did some and now it's back to being buried and, like I said, frozen under a layer. So we'll talk about the energy that this calls for and how that might be coming up for you this week with that 8 of Coins. And then Tuesday always represents a potential block or challenge that we may encounter this week. In what way might we expect a block or a challenge coming through with Tuesday's energy? One card there. 4 of Swords. Yes. So this is a card of rest, of recuperating, of setting down the swords, which are akin to that busy mind, all of that thinking and that strategizing and that using, that beautiful big brain of yours, but needing to take a rest. And I love that blue jay there in the lower left, because blue jays for me definitely connect in with the element of air, as well as the throat chakra with communication, and they can be noisy. And they can be quite persistent. So it can be challenging to quiet that noise when we're needing to put our feet up and rest. So we'll talk about the ways in which that could be presenting a block or challenge this week. So we got an 8 and a 4 coming in here with the Pentacles and the Swords. So a little earth and air energy coming in. Wednesday is our midweek blessing. A midweek blessing for us as we wind down this first month of this new calendar year. Let's see. Oh, another 4. 4 of Coins. So blessing coming in through this energy of how are we storing and preparing, and what are we kind of stocking up on here? Because we see this energy of chopping firewood that we're gathering and creating this sort of resource here. So there's a blessing in that, in the resources that we have gathered and the ways in which we maybe have invested in things. So we'll talk about that. Another 4, 8, 4, 4 coming in. Now we have Thursday. Thursday is how are we growing? And anytime that we are kicking off or winding down or moving into something, I like to say not only this week, how are we growing, but how have we grown through this month? How might we be growing here through Aquarius season happening now? And in what ways can we really look toward that energy of growth, of expansion in the collective? Ooh, okay, we'll take it. 9 of Cups. Wow, beautiful. So this is about wishes coming true. And I see that wishing well there. So there is an uphill climb, but there is a reward at the top. And there is a sense of all of that incremental growth and putting one foot in front of the other, leading to a lot of abundance. And so we've got coins, we've got swords, we've got cups so far. And we have one card left to pull. So that's going to be Friday's card to wrap up the week. So what we're doing here as we pull these cards is we're going to chat about each one of these with some intuitive messages for each day of the week. On the other side of some astrological weather, where we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in the cosmos and then how that's intermixing here with these cards that are coming forward for the collective. So let's see. That final tarot card coming in for the week with Friday's energy. Ooh, beautiful. Ace of Swords. So we've got swords coming in double and coins double. Okay, so we've got earth, we've got air, and we've got this energy of new beginnings in the realm of mental, our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, the way that we are perceiving things, fresh, new insights coming in. As I was recording our year ahead part 1 reading, for all those of you who have received that, we went into all of the numerology of this year and talked about how that connects with the tarot. And so, of course, this being a 1-10 year, because the digits of 2026 add up to the 10, which then becomes the 1, the new beginning. We talked about the cards in the major arcana that are featured universally this year through the numerology. And then in the minor arcana, the aces are 1s. So they too are power cards this year. So really cool to see this one come in, because I'd like to think that through some of the energies that I feel here that can be a bit more challenging, requiring some work and some dedication to, cultivating new ways of thinking and believing and perceiving. This feels very hopeful in that endeavor. So we'll feel into that energy to cap off those tarot messages for the week. And now finally, we're going to pull an oracle message from the Dreamweaver's Oracle to punctuate the messages coming in through the winter season tarot. So let's see. One final card here from the Dreamweaver to finish off our messages for the last collective card pull for January. I will be getting information out this week for the February Empowerment Pack. I will have those flyers and such, because I'll be getting ready to ramp up, because it's another hit the ground running February 1st. No rest for the weary. We start a new month, and we have a full moon in Leo happening that same day. So we will have much to talk about there. So if you'd like to join this month for some guidance and insight into your month and personal energies for you, do check out the Empowerment Pack or the Hello Empowerment reading, as we can connect this next coming month, which, like I said, has some really powerful energies coming in with the shift into the year of the fire horse. And we'll definitely be doing some fun extra goodies in February for all of that, with the Chinese New Year and eclipses, baby. So all the things. All right. Final card from the Dreamweaver before we get ahead of ourselves. One card. There we go. Ooh, I just noticed, I did not look down, that I had left a card. So I think this is going to be a double feature. Let's see. I feel like I need to see what's in both of those. Oh, wow. Okay. So we got card 1, When the Storm Spirits Play. All right. Wow. Look at that. And this is definitely the eagle eye, the freedom, the lightning bolt. Definitely feeling like it speaks to a lot of this energy we'll be feeling into with the swords this week. And then 7, if you hear a Sasquatch sigh. Interesting. I think we're gonna put one at the beginning and one at the end. So I'm gonna put one down here with our Sasquatch, and then we're gonna put number 1 at the beginning with When the Storm Spirits Play. So let's go ahead and feel into some energetic weather for the week, and then we'll get started with these card messages. All right, let's kick things off here with some astrological weather as we wind down this first month of the new calendar year. We have, starting on Monday, January 26th, Neptune enters Aries. And so this inspiration of fire fuels a new era. So dreams ignite bold new beginnings to shift inspiration into active pursuit of the goal. Wow, right there. Ace of Swords to your 8 of Coins, because there is this new idea, fresh energy coming in, aha moments and clarity that we then talk about the dedication and focus toward actively pursuing that goal, doing the things, which then gets into the other cards that have come in to support. So I love that alignment. This is where vision gains courage and forward motion to push into a brand new chapter of life. Acting without delay on biggest goals makes them real and tangible in the world. Interesting, because we got this balance of coins, pentacles, earth energy, and the swords, air energy. And so that's exactly what we're talking about here. We're talking about the air coming in into the mind and into our into concepts that are then real and tangible in the world, in the physical, through inspired action. The 27th, we have Mars conjunct Pluto, where inner power dissolves all shadows. So this is where willpower intensifies to break through resistance and long-standing blocks in the path. Transformation accelerates through focused determination. There it is again. That's our 8 of Coins that starts us off for Monday. Focused determination to change reality for the better, immediately and permanently. Wow. I mean, 9 of Coins, wishes coming true, Ace of Swords, really hitting on the tarot energies that have come forward to support the astrological energies that are coming in. Proving entirely unstoppable becomes the norm as deepest fears are conquered once and for all. Yeah, there's definitely this energy of increasing levels of light streaming onto the planet are simultaneously illuminating a heck of a lot of shadow. So that's why this might sound ridiculous for me to be talking about how amazing everything is moving and happening now and just unstoppable when you look outside and it looks quite different than that, right? Because the increasing light that's coming in is illuminating all of that shadow. It's all coming up. It's all coming out. It's all being seen. And that's where once we put light to that monster under the bed, all of a sudden, they are conquered, those fears, once and for all, because we see them as, you know, the towel lying on the floor that it is. It's not actually a monster. And once we see that, once we see the clarity in that, we shift and we move and release that fear. We conquer that. So that is definitely feeling aligned, and Pluto will continue to act in that way for us this year in terms of, you know, really bringing to light those things and creating this opportunity here with the Mars to take action that then moves us out of that loop. The 29th, we have Mercury conjunct Venus. So this is where, again, speak your desires into existence. Words carry creative power and allow desires to be spoken into form with grace. Communication restores harmony and aligns intention with the specific outcome wished for. That 9 of Coins. 9 of Cups, rather. So asking for exactly what is wanted ensures receiving it with open and grateful arms. So having clarity and really speaking into existence what it is that we wish to experience. Now, in addition to those aspects, we do have some of the numerological magic that's happening this year. And I shared some of this earlier in the month here on the Sharecast and in some of the weekly videos that I shared on YouTube. That there's these specific manifestation portals this year with the number 1 and the power behind that. So this month has unlocked some specific numerological portals that amplify your ability to manifest by connecting you directly to the source code of creation. So this is where we were looking at all the dates in the month that had that 111 frequency, because the month is a 1 and the year is a 1, and there were numerous days throughout the month where that day also totals 1. And so we do have one more left to go, which is this 28th. So this week, the 28th is a 10 energy, 2 plus 8. So we have 1 month, right? We have a 1 frequency day because 28 equals 1. And of course, we know the year is a 1. So January 28th is another powerful day with the 111 gateway, which is activating in order to bridge the gap between, here it is again, your inner thoughts and physical reality. So this is a date amongst the others I've shared that represent that clean slate energy where your identity aligns perfectly with the universal flow to magnetize opportunities instantly. So Power Day is the 28th. That's going to be Wednesday, which is also the 4 of coins. So we'll talk about that when we get there. Now, the energy intensifies even further on the 29th, where there's this very rare 111. So it's a 1 to the 4th power. Interesting, because we got 2 4s on the altar this week and the 8, all multiples of 4. So the 29th is an 11 frequency, 2 plus 9. So once again, first month, 1 year, and an 11 day gives us a 1111 master code on the 29th. So you have 2 days back to back, 28th and 29th, Wednesday and Thursday this week, carrying this amazing energy on both counts. So the 29th is talking about accelerating your personal timeline into a higher dimension. So focusing your intention specifically at 1111 on this day can create a signal so clear that energy arranges itself instantly to match your highest vision. So definitely some opportunities to do some mindful manifestation and alignment this week. These rare moments are functioning as cosmic accelerators where your spoken words hold the absolute power to define the future that you are currently building. You claim your true destiny simply by observing it with total faith during these high frequency windows. Yes, you can call it whatever you want, and you can also say that it's all hogwash. It's about your belief and intention and the energy that creates. So you use these numbers and these powerful energy points where you can bring together the power of intention and your thought and again, it's all this ethereal, energetic stuff that is then becoming physical reality. This is so cool because, like I said, as we were pulling in, I'm surprised we don't have any wands this week because of that energy. But for sure, I think it's because it's really about getting things in the mind clear first so that we can really go out and create this magic. So I do think that there's a lot that's being cleared up, mental, emotional, and kind of getting all of that regulated. There's been a lot of talk about all this connection in with the nervous system, which is another connection to Pluto that I was mentioning earlier. So I think that that's part of it too when I look over the cards that we got. But let's take a look now, starting with our first Dreamweaver Oracle card that's coming in, and not by coincidence, it's number 1. Let's take a look. So here we go. We are kicking off our messages with a bonus message because we were pulling the Dreamweaver Oracle card to punctuate our week, and one got left behind on the altar. So we took 2. And I could tell when I looked at this card, this was going to be so needed for our collective right now. So we're starting here. Card number 1, When the Storm Spirits Play. And the essential meaning that's coming in here is an understanding how to navigate divine chaos, clear the air, stir the pot, scatter seeds, bring new possibilities. It says you're being asked to surrender your need to control outer circumstances, which is based on a desire to feel more certain, avoid confrontation, or resist change. This card signifies a time to trust that this chaos, this disorder, this turbulence that has shown up in your life is temporary but important. You're now able to let go of what is unnecessary or that which you've resisted releasing. Consider how clear the air is after a storm, how dead branches are pruned from trees, and how potent seeds are scattered so new life can sprout in new soil. Even if you find yourself in conflict now, there is a gift in this. It invites you to see things from alternative perspectives and provides you with a lot of valuable information. New, important possibilities arise from the chaos at hand. For now, the highest good for you is to remain in the center of the storm. Meditate and be mindful of your reactions, as you don't yet have all the information needed to make an authentic choice. Watch and wait. There is a divine reordering at the root of this chaos. Listen deeply for the epiphany rising to greet you, and you will know the gifts this experience holds for you. When the storm spirits play, amazing things are stirred up through this divine change for the highest good of all. Remember, you are a weaver of dreams too, even if you must pivot. Even if the threads of your destiny get frayed, the pattern you set will be breathtaking. Yeah, that's an incredibly powerful message, especially for the collective, for the macrocosm, the world stage, and the things that, are all coming up, as I said, that are all creating this storm, this chaos, this shaking it all up to wake it all up, and then to make it all up in a new way with new earth dawning now. And like I said, there's this really beautiful energy of it's here, it's coming in, but we can't see it yet, but we're starting to see the light that's coming up over the horizon. The sun is almost risen. So there's this energy coming in that we have an opportunity to allow to do what it is here, how it serves to illuminate and to give us clarity after the storm in order to clear out, to clean up, to create new again. So beautiful energy to get us started, that message coming in very synchronistically, so we can start to take a look here at the cards coming forward for our collective week ahead. So let's take a look now at the tarot energies coming in for our week. All right, we are getting started here. I'm shaking things up, and we're getting into Monday's energy with the 8 of Coins. So starting off our week, we have this energy coming in with this trip up or down the mountain with the ski lift showing here. And so we're going to reach into the winter season tarot for some energy that's coming in as we kick off this last week of the month of January. So the 8 of Coins is talking about how learning to snowboard takes time, effort, and a lot of falling down. So Dani'el's sharing how she learned to snowboard in Whistler, British Columbia, where she lived for 2 years. The first day she tried, it took her all day to get down a mountain that should have only taken 25 minutes to ride down. I know we've already gotten this card because I shared how I went skiing once and I dropped out of the little bunny kiddie school where children were circling around me with ease, and I dropped out. Not for me. So eventually, though, she mastered it, and snowboarding is no joke. So this is coming in as a beautiful symbol of the 8 of Coins or 8 of Pentacles, where in order to gain more insight and improve yourself, you know that you must put in the hard work that goes along with it. So you're dedicated to mastering your craft by doing the same things over and over again. Complete focus and dedication of time and energy is needed to reap the well-earned rewards of your hard work and perseverance. You are ready to grow and learn. Like I said, there's so much energy coming in this week about all of the new mental energy, creating momentum to start to really create some things of tangibility. Now, something like this that takes practice. We're in the year of the magician, and that's exactly what we were asked. It said, hey, you got all the tools you need. You just need to have that willingness to work with them, to see what works, what doesn't. And yes, you're going to fall on your butt, or you might get hit in the back of the head with the ski lift like I did when I tried to get off, because that just locked it in that I was like, nope, not for me. But I still had to get down the mountain, right? I was up there. I didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable. It didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like I was looking cute in my big snowsuit with my boyfriend, who is now my husband, and our friends. And I still had to make my way down that mountain, and it wasn't pretty. And yeah, like I said, there were little kids smiling and lapping by me, and so kind of bringing that into the way that we can show up in the world and be moving through experiences that are difficult and that we are not necessarily feeling very adept at, because maybe it's our first time on a pair of skis, for example. But we're talking about being in that role of learning something new. It's like, you are an intern, learning how to do something. You're training, you're practicing, you're honing your craft. And so this is where it is calling for some dedication, for some elbow grease, for some really like getting in there and sticking with it even when it gets hard. And right now it is hard. Pretty much everywhere you look, it's hard. And it is calling for us to go with it, but also, it is okay to fall down. It's about the getting back up. It's about the sticking with it. And so I do feel that, as we're shedding, releasing, letting go, and so many things are shifting and changing so quickly, that as we're getting our bearings, as we are reacclimating ourselves and really being able to hold all of this new energy, frequency, and light that's coming into the planet, we're having to get uncomfortable to release and shed and let go and transmute and all the things. So that's where I'm coming at with this 8 of coins for this week from a collective perspective. For you, you might be working on a specific project. Just bring it down to the 3D. You could be working on something that's, learning something new, in training, practicing something. Also, you just might be very focused on something that you are really sticking with instead of, other things going on around you. So you might also have a rather singular focus right now in some particular project or area of work. So let's see how that flows into the week now when we take a look at Tuesday's energy. All right, Tuesday is our potential block or challenge, and it's the 4 of swords. So this is about that rest and recuperation, and you're setting down those swords, the mind, the mental jousting, the thinking, the trying to rationalize or using logic and figuring it all out, or just having a lot of chatter in the mind. Enter in the blue jay as well. Let's see what this 4 of swords has to say. So as we take a look here, it's saying all you need is a nice rest in a hammock on a cold winter's day. Well, there you go. It says it's time to take a much needed break. Seek silence, breathe, and rejuvenate. Take the time to clear out old energy and realign. This is your sign for a time out. A new situation will arise very soon that you will need to be energized for. Yeah, so there is this sense of resting up ahead of something that could be coming in as well. And when I look at this from the reversed perspective, because we're speaking of this as a challenge or a block, it's about it being time to chill out. Right? You cannot keep going the way that you are and expect to have the energy to keep going. Remember all those 9 and 10 of wands that we got and swords that we got that were like burnout, overload, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Do I have to carry all these wands all the time, all by myself, all at once? All that energy. So this is coming back in for a final pop-in for the end of the month to say, hey, girl, guy, hey, what do we have coming in here is the need for rest. You lack the clarity, energy, and focus to give this situation the proper respect it needs to be successful. Take a time out. get focused, and heal what is needed to heal before venturing forward. So I think that's from the most practical place of like, yes, take a moment, take a beat, and allow yourself to rest up and re-energize before you try to take on something new. But also, I'm feeling like, the overload that is all of the things going on in the world right now that many people are due for a break, a social media break, turn off the television, unplug from all of that constant vying for your energy and for your focus, which takes you off point. And it really is about recalibrating our understanding about what it is to be caring and carry unconditional love in the world, and to be peace, and to make a difference where you are, when you can, however you can, and playing on the old shadows that again are being phased out now of guilt and shame and blame and division and separate. And that's why it's so loud. Cue the blue jay. It's so loud. It's distraction energy. So, from the widest angle of looking at this from, collective world stage to all the way down in the hammock, microcosm about what's going on in your life, and on all counts, take a breather, take a beat, step back, rest your mind, and be very clear on where you wish to focus your energy. And so then pick a cause, pick a thing that you want to do that is selfless, or that is about being aware and a caring citizen of the world, and allow yourself to have a mental rest and an emotional detachment, where putting your feet up off of that ground and just letting yourself be in that winter hammock in order to regain that clarity of mind and being able to then step into the work is what's coming in here with this Four of Swords. So let's go ahead and look at our next four that's coming in with Wednesday's energy. Wednesday coming in with a midweek blessing, another four, which is getting us into the structure, the framework, the foundation. And this one is in the suit of coins again, just like Monday. We had the 8 of coins. Now we have the 4 of coins on the other side of that 4 of swords. So there's definitely a lot of restructuring and realigning going on here. As we're winding down this first month, a lot has been, kind of pecked at and pulled at and brought up. Here, we're talking about the blessing in this week, which is coming into sort of resources and savings and investments and preparations and all those types of things with this 4 of coins as a blessing. So that is saying that save money on your heating bill by splitting wood and having a fireplace to keep the house warm, for example. So, and again, all very fitting as I'm sitting here in the middle of a storm, and it definitely was all about, the shelves were cleared. There wasn't a loaf of bread to be found in town. Everybody wiped it all out, panic ensues, and everybody runs out and, grabs all the storm snacks. So having resources on hand, utilizing what we have, tapping into that, and perhaps new and creative ways as well being highlighted as a blessing for the abundance that we have to work with in that way. It's saying you might be caught between a position of financial stability and the value of material wealth. On one hand, you've worked very hard for your money. On the other, you may be becoming possessive about your material wealth to ensure that no one takes it away from you. Trust that the universe is taking care of you. If there is too much control, then there is imbalance. Be aware of your thought process around money. So yeah, all the coins, pentacles, things, money, safety, security, the material, the tangible, our stuff, that's all coming up here. And yes, we are blessed. Many of us, have very abundant lives with a lot of stuff that we may have put value in. And whether we're talking about physical clutter, whether we are talking about, material resources, whether we're talking about having an abundance of love in our lives, or, and again, it's different for everyone, but there is so much value in really taking stock on how much we actually do have, when often our focus gets pulled into all the things that we want or that we wish we had, or highlighting lack in our lives. So, taking some time to really relish all of that, but also perhaps look at some of the ways in which we may have hidden resources or things that we didn't realize, things we can share with others. And again, loop that into how you're choosing to do your work in the world and how you want to share abundance in that way, so that you can put a focus in that as well. I know around here, our neighbor just did a big collection for a shelter in the city where they were collecting, sweatpants and, warm weather clothing. And now my daughter's school is doing a drive with blankets and sheets for pets, for animal shelters. And, so those types of ways in which it's a win-win, and it's a simple thing, perhaps. It's a bag that you toss in the back of your car and drop off somewhere on your way where you're going, that type of thing too, that could be coming in. So, many different ways, and it's going to vary for everyone, but just feeling into this energy of all of that abundance and where we could be holding on to it tightly, where we have a chance to open up and allow ourselves to share in that abundance, or to unload some of the things we've been holding on to, or, look at some way that could be coming up for you. Let's take a look now at our Thursday energy. All right, Thursday is how are we growing? How have we grown this month? How are we growing through Aquarius season? And now I know why I kept switching up, because I read this wrong. I'm saying 9 of coins, 9 of cups, wishes fulfilled. No, 9 of coins, also very abundant. But a slightly different energy. So let's tap into this wishing well and what all has been made possible through our upward climb. How are we growing? 9 of cups, 9, this culmination, graduation energy, and the coins in the physical, in the material, in the pentacles, safety, security, the money, all the things. Like I said, we have so many similar, so that means we have 3 coins cards all day and 2 swords. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh, look what I'm doing. It is cups. Every time I look at this, I see it different. That is so crazy. I'm sitting here thinking, how is the wishing well about coins? So it is cups. I was going to say, okay, yes, I'm getting a little stir crazy. 9 of cups. We are back into the wishes fulfilled, which is very yummy. One of the most positive cards. And how are we growing into that? So this is highlighting ice wine production in Canada from the beautiful detail on this card, where it's noting that Canada is the largest producer of ice wine, with Ontario, where Dani'el lives, producing 90% of it. So that's going to bring us into what's happening here. You live in an abundance of beauty, stability, and wealth that you manifested yourself. So take a moment to show gratitude for the life you have and all the blessings within it. You have worked, learned, and have grown, and it shows. Now you are reaping the benefits of patience, positivity, and personal power. Use this wealth to create long-term financial stability for yourself. You are self-made, independent, and abundantly successful. Beautiful, because it's building on what we were saying, especially about the 8 of coins and the 4 of coins, because that hard work, that focus, that dedication, that sticking with it, the savings, the smart investments, but also, allowing some of that to be shared abundantly, really being highlighted there through this week, and now coming into how we are growing, how we're expanding through that process is having the wishes fulfilled, having the abundance, having the things that come forward in our lives that create this opportunity for us to climb that hill with some degree of ease, or not to say that it's easy, but that we have sort of a leg up in that process, that then we may have something that we can impart to others, or we can share through our knowledge or wisdom that we have gleaned through that process. So I think with the play on 9 of coins, 9 of cups, both of them are highlighting being self-made. This is through my own smashing of the grapes, for that ice wine, and climbing that hill and taking it one step at a time and slipping back, but sticking with it and all of it. So we bring that into whatever way it's showing up for you in the here and now, how you are seeing it outside of you, that we can bring in this beautiful metaphor of the messages that are coming through this week and that are punctuated over here with this final card for Friday that is a really beautiful Aquarian sign of this awakening and illumination that's going on right now through, in this case, our Ace of Swords. So let's take a look now at Friday's card. Okay, our final tarot energy this week is coming from the Ace of Swords. Aha, look at that icicle sword of clarity coming in here, cutting through. So we come back to the one. It's a power energy for this year. And the Ace of Swords are about new thoughts beginning with that first inclination. You are experiencing a breakthrough in clarity and spiritual awareness. A powerful pull of energy is taking you down a path where strength is needed to be triumphant. The heart, head, and soul must be aligned in order for this new idea, new creative idea, or vision to take shape. Seek out the truth to create justice in the situation in front of you. Be prepared for battle. Lead from your heart, but have clarity in mind. So that's beautiful. This is what we were saying. We're talking about this idea of everything needs to be in alignment. The heart, head, and soul. So that's where we're kind of having this direction through regulating and aligning the brain, the thoughts, that process, and the mental, as well as the heart with the emotions, and regulating those things and getting them online so that we can come into embodiment with our soul, which is really beautiful and very powerful and happening on a collective level. Again, we're all in different places on that journey. We all perceive of the process different. We're all experiencing it differently. And so wherever you are, utilizing the power of your thoughts, your beliefs, your will, and having a clarity of thought and spiritual awareness is key to this process. So I do feel some really big messages coming in, which I'm not surprised with all of the big aspects that are happening. It being Aquarius season, it puts us into a collective humanitarian focus about the future, about innovation, about coming together in this way that is freeing and liberating, but also, must highlight for us the obstacles in the way, the ways in which we must clear the path ahead. And so that's where we're at, right? That's what's going on. So let's finish this all off. I'm super curious about our Sasquatch coming in with our Dreamweaver's final oracle message for this week and to close out the January collective messages. So let's take a look at that. All right, our final card of the week coming in as 7. If you hear a Sasquatch sigh. So this is about, this is going to be good, spiritual narcolepsy, seeing through the lens of separation, competition, arrogance, ego, narrow-mindedness. Wow. Okay. Now remember, we started off our messages this week with card 1, when the storm spirits play, with the eagle and the lightning bolt and all the things about this energy that we are navigating right now through the storm. And here we go with the Sasquatch sighing. If you hear a Sasquatch sigh, know that they are sad because you have fallen into the trap of spiritual narcolepsy. You've forgotten your partnership with the universe and instead are working through your ego. You think you see clearly, but you're temporarily blinded to the magic in the world. Perhaps you're comparing yourself with others, or perhaps you're seeing through the lens of lack and limitation, and therefore thinking there isn't enough or that you are not enough. In this moment, you're being called to wake up and remember the inherent divinity in all things and in all people. Perhaps you can't see the magic and mystery because you've lost faith. You don't believe. or you've become hypnotized by temporary outer conditions that present as rigid or fixed. You may feel an overwhelming weight and responsibility on your shoulders to make things happen. Yes, life can be truly hard, unfair, unreliable, exhausting, irrational, and chaotic. But none of those things are permanent or personal. Remember, all things must change, and you are now and always have been a conduit for miracles. Wake up, reorient yourself, declutter your thoughts and your environment, and be grateful. These episodes are fleeting. You do not need to define your sense of self by outer conditions. This is a time to dive into more self-love and compassion. Cultivate a sense of humor, for you are more than enough. You matter, and life loves you so much. Look to the signs around you. The whole world is your oracle. Spirit has a plan. Wow. Okay, I hope you're feeling how powerful that message is, but just that last line. The whole world is your oracle. So if you had to read the world like an oracle card, or an oracle in that coming through signs and symbols and algorithms and metaphor, what do you see in the world? And read it like an oracle, right? Because understandably so, our initial reaction is emotion. We react with emotion. And a lot of the things that we see in the world are playing on emotion, and they elicit emotional reaction. But when we react purely from emotion, that's where we get pulled off and distracted from coming back into alignment with spirit and acting from that place of sovereignty. So that is a very powerful message. Both of those cards, the 1 and the 7, coming in this week to really anchor our messages on either end. So I'm going to leave it here for tonight. I'm hoping to have a little time this week. We'll see. I already know tomorrow's a snow day for the kiddies. Woohoo! So as I'm able to wrap up January for sure sometime between now and February 1st, when we're going to meet again, which is going to be, let me do my little math in my head real quick. Yeah, so it's going to be the first on Sunday, right? Is that right? I could be wrong. I might be misspeaking, but I believe, yes, we're going to come around again for our week ahead messages, and we'll be at the February altar welcoming in a full moon, a new month, and a whole lot of other stuff. So in between now and then, I will certainly check in with anything that comes through to share collectively from these cards. But, really encourage you as you're unpacking this first month and you want to reflect back on the messages that have come forward for us this week. These cards are really powerful. No major arcana, right? No significant things about, the fool's journey, but we've got some really powerful people, places, and things that are making up the details of the storm, when the storm spirits play, and if you hear a Sasquatch sigh. I love it. So I hope you've enjoyed the messages and you're finding them to resonate. As always, you're encouraged to take what resonates and leave the rest. But I'm sending you much love, sending you peace, sending you strength, and thanking you for the role that you are playing to embody as much of that as you possibly can in times that call for a whole heck of a lot. So much love to all. It's time for some cake now for Elena Joy. So I'm going to go do that and celebrate her, and wishing you all much love. I hope you are warm and safe and cozy where you are, and we'll talk soon. Take good care.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.